Hi, welcome back to Waxing On. And today we're going to look at one of the supergroups that came out of, I guess, the late 1960s. We had a number of bands that were going during the 60s. We had Buffalo Springfield, the Byrds, the Hollies, and key players from each of those bands got together and formed Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. Now, the players, well, we got Stephen Stills and Neil Young from Buffalo Springfield, with two other Canadians, by the way. We had a number of Canadians in that band. We've got David Crosby from the Byrds and Graham Nash from the Hollies. Now, my first exposure to them was the Woodstock movie, where they were performing what they claim is one of their first gigs. And some of the songs even sounded familiar. There's one that really stood out for me, and I'll just talk about that in a few minutes. But it was very different from the electric bands at the time. An acoustic band, guitar players, lots of great vocal harmonies, and it really had a unique sound, and again, it was something that nobody else was doing. So, as was my way when I was short on money, when digital came around, I made my own greatest hits selection, or maybe a playlist if you like. And here are some of the tunes that I found really stood out and really represented what excuse me, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young were doing. Now, there were a couple of different forms of the band. I mean, we had Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, and Crosby, Stills and Nash on their own. So Neil Young was in, or he might not have been on all the music. Okay, anyways, one of the first albums I picked up was Deja Vu. And some classic hits on here. Our House, the song Woodstock, written by Joni Mitchell, all about the experience of Woodstock, and probably one of their biggest hits off here, Teach Your Children. Again, it's the vocal harmonies, it's just the whole performance is just excellent. And it has a song that really has lasted the test of time. The other album, I got some from their greatest hits album here, and it's actually just one song I took off their greatest hits album, and it was Sweet Judy Blue Eyes. Now, this was a song I remember hearing it at Woodstock. It seemed even familiar then, but apparently I might not have heard it at that point. But I know FM radio, when FM came into being, really, we got a lot of play on that up where I am. I'm just outside of Ottawa, and this song got a lot of airplay. It's a very long suite, right? It's not S-W-E-E-T, it's S-U-I-T-E. And a lot of different things going on in there, but it's such a catchy tune. Now, I had the Woodstock music book, and it had this song in it. So I used to play that a lot. But I mean, this thing is like pages and pages and pages long. You can imagine trying to play out of a music book. You were constantly turning pages, and it was really, really hard to do. But it was such a long song, it was very hard to memorize as well. But this is just to me, this is the song, either Teach Your Children or Sweet Judy Blue Eyes are the songs that most people might associate with this band. And it certainly was a classic, and one that I would recommend, you know, if you only have a couple of tunes, grab this one, because it really was one of their great tunes. I then jumped down to Four-Way Street just to grab a song on there that I liked, Love the One You're With. And I've got another one here, and this is best of Crosby, Stills and Nash. Neil Young's not with them on this one. And two tunes, Marrakesh Express, and one of my all-time favorite of these groups, Wasted on the Way. Now, I say that because, like I say, a smaller group, but again, this is just an excellent tune. And Stephen Stills and Neil Young also recorded an album on their own, the Stills Young Band, and Long May You Run. Again, these represent really what these bands are about. Wasted on the Way, Long May You Run, some just great, great tunes. And Neil Young, you can see his influence in that one as well. Neil Young obviously went on to have a big solo career. The other band members still out there performing. It's kind of a slice of late 60s, early 70s music. A whole different style, very acoustic, lots of great harmonies, lots of great writing. And again, we've brought together three supergroups to form Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. So we've got some of the best of the best. And in my case, it was just economics that I went and made my playlist or my greatest hits version of it. But again, you go on the streaming networks, all of the albums are there. Give them a listen. It's a band, you don't hear this kind of music anymore. And it's very interesting. Some of it's very relaxing. It's very hummable. You get some of these songs in your head, you'll have them there all day. But well worth taking time, kick off the week with something a little bit of fun, a little bit of history, and certainly some great musicianship. So today the show was just featuring songs from Crosby, Stills, Nash, or Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young. Hopefully you check them out. We'll be back Wednesday. Till then, everybody take care, stay safe. Thanks for stopping by.